Hello and welcome to this latest training video from Model Office. This focuses on the new automated strategic compliance and audit report you can see here. This report is designed to pull in all the relevant data and MI across Model Office. Once a firm has scored themselves and benchmarked and audited themselves against all the relevant rules, you can see here against the 6 key areas that we have broken down the FCA handbook and other regulations that you face as a business, such as ICO, GDPR, and so forth. Then what you will be able to do is pull this into a board report where you will be able to also pull in, if you're an IntelliFlow user or an Iris X-Plan user, relevant data will also pull through there too. And the idea is that obviously this is focused as well on the new FCA requirement, which will come in July this year, on the Consumer Duty board report. So making sure that we're pulling in all the relevant data, MI, and it's available at the click of a button for you. The other issue with this is that it's related to your regulatory permissions. So on the regulatory permissions, this area is focused on looking at the permissions that you hold as a business and the advice areas in which you operate, and making sure all the relevant audit features and benefits, gap analysis and so forth is appropriate to your business model. And so, for example, if you're not holding client assets, then they'll click that and that should disappear. It won't appear on the board, the board report, the automated strategic audit report. So once you're ready, it's important to mention as well, let's say you've just only taken the Consumer Duty area with Mo, and that's the only area that's scored. Then it will pull in only the relevant data from this area into the board report. So again, it can be just used for the Consumer Duty purposes if that's what you wanted to use it for. So then press download on the report, and now it is now pulling effectively all the relevant data based on the very latest scores across those 6 regulatory keys and its associated governance, risk and compliance modules, or business functions as we call them. Pulling it all into one area. So again, it's aggregating the data, and so you again get an overview report which you can then download as a PDF or printable. And then here you can see that it gives details on the introduction, understanding how we score, how Model Office scoring works, and then looks at what's required in the Consumer Duty Board report. So if we just take a quick look through these areas here, you can see that this is how Model Office is heat mapping, looks at the overall score of how the firm has scored from a helicopter view, if you like, a radar chart perspective across all the 6 key areas that we've broken the handbook down into. And then on the Consumer Duty side of things, this really pulls in the requirement, what the rules say, for example, which you can link on there, and it will take you straight through to the rule book of why that's important. And what we can then do really is ensure that you've got full understanding of what is required from the FCA in that board report. As you can see here, it gives an overview of what the framework is, principles, governance and oversight areas, and the content of the report. Lots of that is covered in this particular report itself. And then it will pull in the 6 key areas that we focus on, pulling in all the scores, the relevant scores on the regulatory score, how the firm has scored against their peers on the platform. So we've got over 1,000 firms now on Model Office across a variety of platforms. We've got 5 platforms that firms can engage in. So again, you're getting peer-to-peer scoring as well, and then it will give a 1-year target of how to improve scores. And then these are the individual governance, risk compliance modules, business functions, and then you can take a look at how the firm is scoring there, and you've got a record of how that's scored. And then below here is pulling in the top 5 areas for action. So what Model Office will do is rag rate all the actions that need to happen across gap analysis, automating the gap analysis and audit reporting. And therefore it will only obviously at this stage focus on the red areas because they're the high risk areas, and it will pull in the top 5 that you then need to focus on. Same for engagement, same principle applies. And then we go through to Consumer Duty again, pulling in what the constituent parts of the Consumer Duty is, how it's scored, how the firm has scored themselves, and then the top 5 areas focused on what the firm really needs to focus on. Same for Promise, which is the service investment retirement proposition, research and due diligence processes across centralised investment propositions, portfolio management services, DFMs and so forth, and also what tools they're using from a technology perspective, cash flow, attitude to risk, capacity for loss, research tools, are they fit for purpose against all the rules and regulations. Systems is really looking at all these key areas, policy procedures, looking at workflows, looking at what software is being used within the business, CRMs, business activity, data quality, and all the resilience issues regarding cyber resilience, operational resilience. And then finally, you've got people, which is there full focused on the HR side of things, SMCR, training and competence, employment law, and so forth, making sure all those records and the firm is up to speed with where they're at. And then finally, it will pull in some templates that you can download for your business and apply it across risk management processes. And this looks at, again, the 6 key areas, breaking it down into constituent parts on the regulatory strategy side of things, and then looking at inherent residual target risks, looks at completion dates, person responsible actions, and obviously this will change depending on where the firm feels that they are against those individual areas. So this really gives high-level overview of Consumer Duty Board report needs, and then pulls in the granular data. So you've got all that information in one place at the click of a button, as well as across all the strategic and audit reporting that you need to be now doing with a data-led FCA. Hope you found this video useful.